the Scrum Master. So here I'm drawing attention to some of the things that the Scrum Master is responsible for. The first one is just a definition which comes from the video. The Scrum Master is responsible for ensuring Scrum is understood and enacted. I've seen a question on this in the open assessment. That's the scrum.org open assessment, which is a practice exam that is going to give you a lot of confidence. I've seen some questions around this, some tricky little questions really, in terms of meetings and things that the Scrum Master needs, does or doesn't need to do, or meetings that the Scrum Master needs to attend. And so a lot of times in Scrum, you'll find that the Scrum Master is there to facilitate and to make sure that Scrum is understood and enacted. But sometimes the Scrum Master does not need to be present with the team in order to make sure these things happen. He or she may just need to set up a meeting, or he or she may need to be present a lot of times, and I recommend you are present in nearly every situation. But there are also some situations where you don't need to be present. Scrum Masters do this by triggering the team to self-organize. So that's why I'm going through this guide, just to make sure that you really understand the rules, especially if you're a Scrum Master, but not limited to. And the Scrum Master is a servant leader. Servant leadership is a really important concept. The idea is that by serving the team, you also lead the team. If you can think about the times you've had a manager who has really helped you to get to the next level, or has really answered questions for you, I'm sure this will make a lot of sense. You know, by really helping a team to succeed, you are really helping them to get to the next level, but you're still a leader. It does not stop you being a leader. There's no weakness in the term here. As you can see, the leader part is there, and the servant part is also there. So they coexist happily together. The Scrum Master is leading through example, through influence, through making the whole team aware of the Scrum framework and rules. There's a strong sense of leadership there. Facilitating events as required or as needed. This is another thing that Scrum Master does. So I don't really need to go into too much detail about that, but the word facilitating or facilitator often comes up in Scrum, and that's something to be aware of. Removing impediments. That is the key thing a Scrum Master does by removing any of the blockers, making sure the team can work effectively, leading and coaching the organization in Scrum adoption. So I have highlighted that one because one thing that often gets missed, I think, is the fact that a Scrum Master actually has the authority to coach anyone in the organization and to lead. So those are two very important things within an organization. And the Scrum Master should really be respected for that, and be respected enough and empowered enough to go into an organization and be the authority on Scrum. And be able to say, listen, you need to give the team space, or in some situations that I've had a really good relationship with senior stakeholders and had to say, listen, if you have any questions, direct them through this person. Sometimes that person would be me, sometimes that person would be the product owner. And we don't want to stop stakeholders collaborating with the team. But when questions become excessive, that's an example of where you sometimes need to coach people in the organization to understand that after a certain point, you are actually reducing the productivity of the team if you communicate with them too much. Okay, so that ends this section. I hope it has been helpful for you. Thanks for your time, and I'll speak to you in the next section.